A very good Sunday morning to you. It's in Pattaya, the day after, the night before of one of the biggest events that this city has seen this year. It was the annual International Fireworks Festival, and these streets all along Second Road, you couldn't move. It was gridlocked with motorbikes. I've never seen this town quite so busy. Tourism seems back in full force. We've got coaches everywhere, people everywhere, and it bodes well for a fantastic 2024. I'm going for a walk this morning just to see what Pattaya Beach Road looks like. It was closed off for the weekend for the fireworks with the family, little bit of exercise to see exactly what's going on. So I'm cutting through one of the soys from Second Road. This soy here, it used to be fantastic. This area here was some huge puppet show, and you can see exactly what's left of it. It was like one of the first things that came here with Royal Garden Plaza, and it was welcoming the Americans during their Vietnam War. And although this soy showed some promise, it's gone a little bit quiet. About maybe 10 years ago, this was an extremely well appointed Russian pub. I just remember the finishing in here being just exemplary, and I thought it was sort of something big for this soy, but that's all that's left of it now. Shame. This town has the ability to morph itself and adapt. You can hear the Indian music there. I walked past 4 Indian restaurants. There are so many Indians coming to this city now, and Russians as well in notable force. They're everywhere. What is it?
I don't know.
A flower?
I found it. I found it for Danny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's business as usual. You wouldn't have guessed that maybe 10 hours ago you would not have been able to move. I saw the pictures, and on this beach it was shoulder to shoulder. People were coming down at 2 o'clock in the afternoon to reserve their seats. It was that busy. And Pattaya have really ramped up their plan in 2024. They want more events, and I just think it bodes extremely well for the future. And I feel a little bit sorry for Hua Hin, because during COVID it's when the Bangkok Thais finally discovered Pattaya and realised it wasn't as bad as they thought. And then you've seen the development along Bang Sarai next to Ocean Marina. There's an Icon Siam 5-star shopping centre being built. There's new road links coming in from Bangkok. I think this whole region is just going to go from strength to strength, both internationally and domestically. It's a very interesting city, Pattaya, and draws out so many strong views. You've got the naysayers that don't like it, and then you have various camps in the city as expats. For example, whenever I post a restaurant, if it's a bit pricey, then I'll get a certain group. I'm guessing those that are on a tight pension, not looking to be condescending at all, that will say that's not a true reflection on Thailand and the food is much better. In fact, someone said this in one of my posts: the Thai street food is better in Buriram than any of these 5-star restaurants. And yes, the Thai food is awesome, but the quality of meat and that is not comparable. It's been quite a lot of work they've been doing along here, and they're just going to get all these new pavements. So Frank and Danny can't quite get along on their scooters at the moment. So in front of me here is the Tahan Queen, and it's Pattaya's oldest bar, and as they say, still the best. This is where all the soldiers or Navy men come from America during the war. You know, I've got my opinion on Pattaya, and I think it's a city very much in the ascendancy. And why shouldn't it be? It's got a fantastic coastline, a terrific bay that other regions across Thailand don't have. And with its proximity to Bangkok and airports, it just bodes too well that this place will transform. And I think what we've seen over the decades is a continuous reinvention with new groups and segments, and what happens is along the way it leaves a residue, let's use that word, of former groups that become a little bit more marginalised. So perhaps some of the old retirees that came over here with not much money have found the going a little bit tougher and are being squeezed out systematically. So I think that's probably why sometimes when I post these new restaurants and venues, there's a few people that really would rather not see it happening, but it's just the market and it's just the way the town is moving forward. The Wave Hotel. I always think it's a very pretty one, this one. There's something else that people need to recognise when they discuss Pattaya, and that is there's different regions and zones within it, which is actually stretching out. So now you would look at Bang Sarai and what's going on there with the development, and then East Pattaya that was before was known as the dark side is anything but that. And in Maprachan Lake in particular, in that region, I'm seeing some real investment with money and nice restaurants and villas being built. It's just showing you that there's money in this city, and I've always thought it actually. It's just that you don't see the guys with money. You tended to see the guys without it sitting in the cheap beer bars drinking their 50 baht beer. And then you have Jomtien, which is developing very, very fast. They've redeveloped the beach. There's condominiums springing up all along that coastline, and it's becoming rather appealing to lots of retirees. A slightly quieter life, but still access into the city if you want it. And then you have Pratanak on the hill, which gives you some beautiful views. It's where I've chosen to live. Saunas, gyms, nice restaurants. Then Pattaya city centre, which is where I'm walking now. I'm just going past the Hilton. If you want a little bit more life just on your doorstep. And then Nuklua, which although used to be quite popular with Germans, is a little bit of a stronghold for Russians. And Thais coming from Bangkok have still got a real liking for that area. There's certainly lots of options of where to live in Thailand in general for expats, and much must be determined on your budget, your status, are you a retiree or working, and what you like out of life. I've tried Hua Hin, which was somewhat of a utopia. Wonderful, almost too good to be true, but in my opinion just a tad sleepy unless you like golf. And Bangkok a bit too busy, claustrophobic, bad traffic, too hot and not smoggy, but just not pleasant. And I've looked at the islands, too remote, although appealing to visit. And for me, Pattaya as an expat location, if you were just to list pros and cons, it's just far too strong. I mean, you've got Phuket as well, but again, I think it's a bit too remote. And Pattaya just a bit stronger in terms of all-round offer. But that's just my opinion in terms of my needs with my family. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job of cleaning this beach up. There's still a little bit of rubbish here, but they're out everywhere. That's just the rubbish as a result of tens of thousands of people on that beach watching the fireworks over the last couple of nights. These are just some of the tubes which were used for the fireworks. There's hundreds everywhere. So this would have been the real epicenter of where the fireworks were from. There was a stage here with live music, and they're packing it all away, ready for another day. And that's the Hard Rock Cafe. So as I continue my walk towards Nuklua up by the Holiday Inn and Amari, I'll probably wrap up here. I just wanted to say that whatever anyone's view on Pattaya, to me it really is a city of variety that caters for all nationalities, all incomes and all experiences. It's a wonderful hub for an expat to base themselves, with all the international schools and shopping and everything you need. Beautiful beaches like this and proximity to Bangkok and the airport. And if you want to retire here on a budget, you can. You can eat cheap, you can stay in accommodation cheap, but on the flip side, you do have your 5-star hotels, such as your Hiltons, and that's a wonderful thing. I think the issue is you bring all these different groups together, and it's making sure it stays harmonious. And unfortunately, I talk to people on the forums as well. It seems those with the most to say are my fellow Brits. That's my last point. Okay, enjoy your day wherever you are on this Sunday as I take my walk with my family along Pattaya Beach Road. Keep safe. Down about Thailand.